Hello, and welcome to the last episode of Igniting Hot Seats. And I'm so happy to present Valeria Raffa, the creative director, founding partner, and GM of Cabiria Brand Universe. Hi, Valeria.
Hello, Vrinda. Hello, everybody.
We're so happy to have you here. Please, let's start with a few words from you and then we can go ahead with this.
Right. And yes, as you said, I'm running Cabiria Brand Universe, which is an agency founded in Milan in 2009. It's part of the story group, Sorry, Born to Tell You Story. And I have in my company lots of people, creative people, account, strategic people, and we work with other three sister companies dealing with video strategy, stakeholder engagement, and information about politics, artificial intelligence, and reputation.
Oh, sounds wonderful. So, over the last few episodes, we have always had guests name our Teddy over here for us. So,
Yeah.
why don't you go ahead and give him a name and let's begin with it?
Definitely the name for Teddy will be Robert
Okay,
and Robert Raffles. So we pay a nice tribute to this actor that is
wonderful.
somewhere.
Wonderful. So, Robert, why don't we start now?
Section 1. The Question That Burns. Valeria Cabiria Brand Universe thrives on blending strategy with storytelling that feels cinematic. But in an age where attention spans are shrinking, can immersive universes really hold ground against quick, snackable brands?
Let's start by saying that every brand has its own brand universe.
Right.
So even snackable, signature brand, iconic brands. It's brand universe is very important today, especially because the scenario is very crowded. And moreover, layered brand, as you said, Teddy, and snackable brands have something in common, which is the word story, because story is everything. And in fact, I am part of the story group because we are basically born with the objective, with the goal to tell people stories, company stories, brand stories, could be commercial or corporate. So the story is a mutual thing that all the brands have in common. And this is beside being snackable or built in another way. But basically, what does it mean, snackable? I mean, a snackable brand, I believe, has its own strategy. The only thing that differentiates snackable brand from the others is that they leverage very much on their tone of voice and on the media planning, which is really straight to the audience. So basically, it's like this brand are like, ballerinas. When you see ballerinas on the stage, they seem, like dancing light and happy without any effort. In reality, beside that, we have practicing, we have training, we have diet, we have also, mindfulness. So lots of things that contributes to create that emotion and that feeling. So basically, branding is complexity made simple to the audience. This for me is the key, is the factor. So whenever we say, well, you can be traditional, you think of branding as something that has different phases, different path. Maybe you're not so immediate. It's not like that. If you build a brand properly, then you will be quick on the market. And this is another key of success that we believe in Cabiria.
Right. That sounds wonderful. But is there a brand that you can share as an example for us, for the audience to know more?
Snackable brand,
Yeah.
for example? Well, I could say, and this can be a surprise, for example, Mutti,
Mm.
Duolingo, Ceres, Prima Insurance, all the brand that, beside the fact they were built maybe in years, they kind of get the spirit of our times and acted in communication on the market, leveraging on many different tools. For example, in Cabiria, we do use artificial intelligence. We're not afraid of artificial intelligence. It's a great help. And it would be in the future, actually it is now already, because artificial intelligence, for example, and I'm sure that those brands built on that, is capable to gather all the data to predict, like in a crystal ball, whether some customers will be buying some cars, some clothes. So that is very important because you can build a strategy and you can build a brand that is already interesting, intense for some people.
Okay, but how relevant do you think is AI in storytelling or shaping a brand?
Oh, it can be relevant in shaping a brand. Also in storytelling because you can gather some feedback and then you can see where your story can lax or decline, where there's a lack of interest from the audience. Building a brand is, I should say, it would be extremely important because and of course all the research institutes in Italy and in the world are aware of that. You can have a fresh data and you can forecast what it will be in the future. So then you fine tune your brand. A brand, I would like to say, is not only one brand. A brand work with lots of energy when it builds partnership with other brands. So thanks to those data, thanks to artificial intelligence, maybe we can see if there is something interesting around that we need to inject in our brand to refresh it. Just to give you an example, artificial intelligence is in our lives already.
Right.
For example, have you noticed when you search on Google a word, you have the small resume, the ones you didn't have?
Yes.
It's like a shortcut for all the information you just needed. Wow, that's super. One thing I would recommend is always to check the source of the information that artificial intelligence is providing to you and some legal aspects.
Right.
Okay. But it's about the brand image. When in a brand you also build the brand image, you can have some issues with the typography images because the artificial intelligence grab things everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, it has its own limitations, right?
Yeah.
But do you think AI could pose a threat to the individuality of storyline, story building, and how it could set two brands apart from each other?
No, I don't believe that.
Mhm.
I don't believe that because artificial intelligence is a tool and we need to use it as a tool. And you know what? I wasn't thinking the other day while we were doing a project. And I was thinking, okay, I treat the artificial intelligence as a friend. I talk to it, and it has something human, but it's not human. And then I thought, but it is a tool. It is something that I am using. And it is something that it hasn't got a particular element we do have as humans,
Right.
which is the spirit and the creativity. These things I could not describe it to you. If you ask me what is creativity, well, I couldn't answer straight away. What is the spirit, this kind of psyche that we have inside, and that produces something brilliant intuition, something like that. That sparkle. Um, Artificial intelligence doesn't have that. But the funny thing is that we are teaching artificial intelligence to be like us.
Mm-hmm.
But let's keep this point of difference.
Yeah.
Okay?
I mean,
It's a bit
it's called artificial for a reason, right? Yes.
good.
Right.
Totally agree with you.
Okay, so on to the next one, Teddy.
Hot take 1: craft versus AI. Hot take 1: craft versus AI scale. In 2025, AI can mass produce visuals and campaigns at lightning speed, but Cabiria insists on creative depth and narrative rigor. Is brand as universe now the rare luxury or the only way forward?
Great question. Quite hot question, even this one. Well, I must say that craft and AI cannot compete. I think that you need to have the both together. Um, uh, of course, as I said before, we leverage on artificial intelligence, but the idea, the strategy, the projects, those are part of a brand universe. Those are part of a process that doesn't move at a light speed. But once you've done it, then you can go at a light speed. So this is, I think, is very important for us. And we said we often say a word which is rigor. Rigor doesn't mean being slow, but it means doing things well, caring about details, caring about the process, caring about delivering a brand or a concept or an idea that lasts. That can move also fast and forward on different channels, fine-tuning its tone of voice, but there must be something quite steady from which everything start off.
Right.
Right? Especially today, because today, I mean, it's also quick, so fluid, so rapid. For example, yeah, if I look at my smartphone, even today, I think I must have seen at least 400 pictures
Mm-hmm.
because we use our phone, at least we grab our phones at least 2,000 times a day. So can you imagine? That's why we need something relevant. Relevant that comes to us. To build something relevant, our strategy and our ideas need to be clear. We don't need to follow trends. It's not mandatory as a thing. Of course, in some let's say market, we need to look at trends because they are important to sell. Then maybe I'll provide you some examples.
Right. But do you think an AI driven agency could pose a threat to something like a Cabiria Universe today?
Well, it depends on the brand and on the request. As I said before, we're not a brand. So if some agency is saying, okay, I'm specialized in AI, we are not specialized in AI, but we're specialized in something that can use AI as a plus, bursting strategies, bursting concept and design. So I think it's better to be like us and inject AI rather than the contrary, because branding is also about culture.
Right.
So it's also about having a certain frame of mind.
Mhm.
And in fact, talking about branding is one of the most difficult things ever.
Right. So putting it into words just by AI is not branding at all. Right.
It's not branding at all because again, it's a tool. It's something that I can inject. Like when, when computers were facing our world. Oh my gosh, what is that? They were tools. They
Right.
made my life easier. Oh gosh, yes, they did. And artificial intelligence is doing it now. When I need to check a concept, I can ask the artificial intelligence, can you figure out this thing? Then I see, no, it's not this, no, it's not like that. And maybe I'll do it again, sketching and drawing. But it helps, it contributes to the creative process, but it is not the creative process.
I agree with you. All right. On that note, let's go on to the next question, please.
Hot take 2. Culture as compass. Cabiria's work often draws from art, film, and cultural currents. Less about trends, more about timeless codes. In branding, is culture the ultimate anchor when markets chase only performance metrics? Is it really about culture, or does it just boil down to trends?
Very interesting one also, this question. Okay, first of all, culture today is super important. We are losing culture, and there are many brands that don't think that culture is not that important. I think it is. It is, and it is for Cabiria. For example, I'll tell you some example. If you think of Patagonia, which is one of the most famous case history in the world, but Patagonia is a brand that's still, making profits and based its brand on the culture. If you buy today a sweatshirt from Patagonia, it will cost you 140 euros, which is not exactly peanuts. But this is because you pay for the brand, for the things that the brand does for the planet. You kind of embrace its philosophy. It makes you feel better. It makes you feel comfortable that you bought something that doesn't cost. Okay, let me go on the other side, 2 euros, and that it lasts. Okay. If I think of IKEA, is another brand built on the culture of accessibility, of the circular economy. And, without that part of culture, a brand hasn't got any story to be told. A story engages people. So that's why culture for me is important. Another brand, perhaps of course, it's Body Shop,
Right.
that since the beginning based its culture and its story and philosophy about saying against the cruelty on animals. Okay, I put down some of that, but also Apple. What's Apple culture? Apple is the rebellion, is creative. It makes you feel like that. So it's part of these aspects. These let's say, can we call them values somehow? Are part of his DNA and his culture. So the cultural aspects of a brand is extremely important because there were years in which branding and marketing leveraged very much on brand equity, thinking erroneously that was all about brand awareness. No, it was about brand relevance, brand image, and brand loyalty. So if you build your brand and if you increase your brand equity with the culture, I'm sure you'll have some result as a brand. Culture, though, is also a concept. It's a fantastic concept because it's wide. With the culture, you can embrace people. You can create a strategy leverage on community. You can, you can open up to many different words and opportunity.
Right. Going back to your example of Apple, say Apple and Samsung are competing brands at
Mhm.
varying competitive prices, competitive products. Why do you think people still levitate more towards Apple or instead of Samsung?
Because there's a great story behind, and it's a story of his founder. Sorry, and it's a story of seeing things differently, of innovation. In fact, all the brands that really lay it in our hearts the most are those that were capable and are will capable of innovation, of disruption, something that wasn't existing before. Imagination is very important. Is another thing that AI is not really good at the moment.
Hopefully not in your future as well.
Exactly. So Steve Jobs and his story and the brand story really made the difference in the world. I'm not saying they are saving the world. No, we will need a brand that does that, but not yet. But definitely, the DNA is different from Samsung or from other brands that maybe are more techy, more practical. They have a different story. Apple has a creative story, and creativity is so human, it's so emotional, and we live on emotion. That's why we keep looking at films, and Cabiria, as you said, or Teddy, I don't remember, is very cinematic, but yes, as a name and as history. Even Cabiria has his own history. But emotion is still the key of the communication and of the success of the engagement.
So we agree that emotional storytelling is a very big touch point for any sort of
Mm.
audience and any sort of communication.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, on to the next one.
Section 3, Curveball Round. It's 2030. Brands are algorithmically optimized, perfectly personalized, but forgettable. Cabiria feels bold but almost too human. Do you adapt to hyper-personalized, AI-first branding, or double down on imagination as rebellion?
Ha, tricky question. Um, well, no, I think I will use AI to try to customize the most um, the strategy, mostly linked to the marketing goals of the brand. So I will do that. So I will keep using the old school of branding of marketing as like a settled ground. But then for sure, now we need to move at another speed because at the end of the day, the most you customize, the most you attract people, the most, of course, you have good performance. And performance, return of investment, is something that at the end of the day, our clients ask us.
Okay, but what if imagination doesn't scale at one point and there is a sort of a position where they can't grow anymore? What do you think? Will it still win or not really?
As long as we can imagine something in our mind, I would say yes. I would say yes. So hopefully, because It's something, again, very human imagination. And there was an Italian writer and very famous people was Leo Longanesi, that used to say that imagination is the beloved daughter of freedom. And we need to be freed. And freed, that's true. Lapsus, but it's true. At the end of the day, it's very important that we are free to be ourselves. We are free to imagine something that doesn't exist. That's about being dreaming or dreamers.
I absolutely love that thought. Is there any sort of brand that you would have worked with and you would have done things differently, leveraging the power of AI with it? If there is any brand that exists today, and how do you do it differently?
Well, I think now there's a big opportunity for insurance brands. For example, I mean, insurance brand, but for example, Allianz Generali or and all the other. And I'm sure maybe they are doing something about it, or they will, because they're very both innovative brands. For insurance brands, it's an opportunity because insurance is about protect people and leave people free to live their life without any fear. Because if something happens, there's somebody that helps you. AI is key for them because can really know the very me. In fact, we are talking about the me branding.
Right.
Okay, so AI can tell the insurance company, okay, Valeria really needs, or she will be needing these services from you. So it's like walking in Monte Napoleone with a personal shopper, that knows you very well and tells you, okay, buy this, grab that, you need this, don't drink that, drink. It's all about really knowing people, getting to know people deeply and anticipating their needs. In marketing, if you can anticipate people's needs, oh wow. And it's not a miracle anymore.
Right.
Okay. It can happen thanks to AI. But I think insurance brands, there's an opportunity there.
Yeah, I think insurance brands are not boring anymore. They used to be boring, analytical, but now they have a very different approach of communication. And now the Gen Z even is getting more attracted to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because at the end, they're part of your life. And especially Italy is a weird market, and it's very difficult because insurance was more something for UK, US. But now the culture, again, we're talking about culture, has very changed. And even insurance brands have understood that they're part of our lives, and they should be like a life companion, ready to face any challenge that our lives give us.
Yeah, I think the spin on communication has really leveraged it for them. Yeah. Well, thank you, Valeria. As today is the last episode of this series, I would like you to say a few words for the aspiring minds in branding strategy who are today getting to know and growing more. And if there are any words that you can have for them and maybe inspire them to be a little better in what they want to do.
I think there's one word, which is empathy. Try to put yourself as a brand into the other's places. So try to grow that feeling and nurture that feeling of empathy. And empathy is really a point of difference for people and brands, and it will be.
Thank you. Well said. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This was our last episode with Valeria Raffa, signing off with Igniting Hot Seats. See you next year.